Good evening. The City of Riverbank City Council and Local Redevelopment Authority Board meetings are now in session. Today is Tuesday, May 14th, 2024. It is 6 p.m. Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice. Please remain standing.
Let's pray. Father God, we just come before you tonight and we recognize, Lord, the giver of good gifts is you, and that our city, the city of Riverbank, Lord, has been given to us by you. Lord, I pray that tonight as our mayor, Father, and this council and the city staff, Lord, work on making this place the place that you desire it to be. I just pray that you would bless them, Lord, the residents of this city, the ones that have business here. I just pray for prosperity, Lord. I pray for health for each one. And that as we have this opportunity to discuss business tonight and present these presentations, I just pray that your love, God, your hand would be on each part. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Roll call, please.
Councilmember Uribe?
Here.
Councilmember Hernandez? Here. Councilmember Barbara Martinez?
Here.
Vice Mayor Jones Cruz is absent. Mayor O'Brien?
Here. There will be no changes to the agenda tonight. Any council or authority member or staff who has a direct conflict of interest on any scheduled agenda item to be considered is to declare the conflict at this time. Seeing none, we're going to start off with the presentations. Item 7.1, Certificate of Recognitions, Older American Month. It is recommended that the City Council read and present, and our first presenter will be Luis Uribe.
Good evening, everybody. So the first person we'd like to recognize, Cal Campbell, if you could come up and join us, please. Stand right here. Right here. All righty. Thank you for joining us, Cal. All righty. So Cal wanted me to mention a couple things. So I'll start off with, in celebrating our community, we have a young gentleman with remarkable contributions with a journey that spans continents. Cal embodies the spirit of service and adventure from his years at MJC to his endeavors with the Peace Corps in India, where he championed water development projects. Cal has always been driven by a sense of purpose and dedication. His tenure in the Army Reserve and his pursuit of education at Cal State Hayward underscore his commitment to excellence and lifelong learning. Through twists of fate and new beginnings, Cal found love and purpose in Riverbank. That goes to Marina. Marina, you're a strong and amazing person. So we appreciate everything you do to keep this man in check here. So Cal's first job was in Riverbank School District. Cal wanted me to mention some troubles he had with the principal there, kind of before moving on to Oakdale. Oakdale is where he ended up retiring, and beyond his professional achievements, Cal has been an advocate for our community, serving with distinction on the city council and continuing his advocacy even into retirement. His dedication to the well-being of our residents is matched only by his adventurous spirit, evident in his decade-long tenure as a scuba diving instructor. Cal is even gracious in defeat when he placed second in a scooter race against yours truly. Cal, yeah, I cheated apparently. So gracious, Cal. Cal, you are a friend, and Riverbank is lucky to have you. Congratulations.
Thanks.
This looks pretty. Absolutely. Take a picture right here.
Next is Rachel Hernandez.
Ben, can I have you join me? So I have the honor of nominating and recognizing Ben Rubin on this month. Ben's community service and work goes beyond his volunteerism. He has a generous heart and a welcoming attitude, and I believe that is really what makes a great public servant. I'm honored to nominate Ben on his community service work for Older Only but Not by Spirit month. Currently, he serves as a commissioner on the Riverbank Planning Commission and on the Stanislaus Committee on Aging as a member at large. He served as a patient advocate with Project Hope and as a board member for Habitat of Humanity. He also served on church-related council and executive board, so help me to congratulate you.
All right. Next up is Darlene Barbara Martinez.
Charlotte, come on up. So I would like to introduce Charlotte Langston. I've been knowing her for several years now. But I wanted you to know that Charlotte was born in Alexandria, Louisiana. She lived in Pleasanton for 33 years, but she knew where she needed to be. So she came to Riverbank in 2006. And as a single mom, Charlotte raised 3 children. Currently, Charlotte is the president of the Riverbank Royal Neighbors, Chapter 9890, for the past 5 years. Charlotte has been involved in Royal Neighbors since 2007. Royal Neighbors is a fraternal organization founded on the principle that when we come together, we can make a difference and drive change for the better for women, their families, and their communities. Also, Royal Neighbors provides a free annual luncheon for our veterans around Veterans Day. The organization raises funds for the Veterans Luncheon by holding yard sales and an annual tea party, which is coming up next month. And in addition, Royal Neighbors helps Central Valley Community Resources with our Senior Brunch Fridays by providing lunch and calling the bingo numbers on select Fridays. Other volunteer activities are that she volunteered at our very own Christian Food Sharing Food Bank for 11 years. Charlotte enjoys cooking for her family and gardening. She hates housework, like some of us do, like me especially. She loves to travel and experience new adventures. Charlotte just returned from a cruise to Mexico. Charlotte has 8 grandchildren and 9 great-grandchildren. She is a happy grandmother. But Charlotte, I want to say thank you for your leadership and your years of giving back to your community. And thank you for being a part of Riverbank and helping to make Riverbank one of the best places to live. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, me. Mr. Jones. Go over here, over here. Mr. Jones, Edward Fast Eddie Jones was selected by Vice Mayor Jones Cruz. And he's been around for quite some time. He says he's an accomplished gentleman with many adventures. Eddie moved to Riverbank in 1969, and he is a Korean War veteran of 62 years. He retired a truck driver for over 20 years. Within the many years of driving trucks, Eddie drove fruit trucks, tow trucks, diesel trucks, and buses. Afterwards, he sold cars and car parts, which led him to his next venture. Dave White leased Eddie a building where he then sold odd items and repaired scooters. Now, Eddie focuses on helping Americans veterans first and enjoying his time gardening at home. And you see on the side of his van, you repair scooters.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I just want to make sure that that still is germane. So with that, I'd like to present to you the certificate of recognition. And in behalf of Leanne Jones-Cruz, and the entire city council. Thank you. Alive. Yeah. Okay, please, if you will, just stand over there for a second. Yolanda Guider, please. You've known my family for a while, for a long time, and she has been a great supporter of the city of Riverbank. She was born and raised in Riverbank, lived here 98% of the time. Oops, that's okay, that's already been read. And that's since 1941 to 24. She's helping the community and instill to herself and their three brothers, Rolando, Michael, and Salvador Sal, by grandmother Maria Angeles, Aunt Ruth Angeles, and mother Lucy Alcala. In 2000, her mother and her were Citizens of the Year for their community service. She raised three sons. Richard went to De Anza College, Ronald went to UC Davis, and Robert to UC Riverside with the family help. She retired from 34 years of career from Safeway stores and also 7 years with Kohl's. During the early 90s, she was introduced to the Rural Neighbors of America, Riverbank Christian Sharing, Salvation Army, and Riverbank Historical Society. In 2012, she took a hiatus to help her mother, and she returned in 2017. She is involved with Rural Neighbors, St. Francis of Rome, St. Vincent de Paul, and the Riverbank Historical Society. So for that, you should get more than just, but I want to thank you for your service. And if you will, for all of them, they do read, on behalf of the Riverbank City Council, I congratulate you on being selected as one of Riverbank's outstanding senior citizens. We greatly appreciate you for your volunteer work, leadership, and service to your community. And also, we need to keep tapping into people with experience and learn from what they have learned all of their life in a shorter time. So if we may, all right, so what I would like now is everybody come on up and then stand behind your selectee. And when do you guys give out the gifts?
I'll give them after.
Okay, so we're gonna stand behind.
Table. Now that's the kind of group you want a Q&A with.
Yeah.
Congratulations, Cal.
And I want to congratulate you.
Congratulations, Dad. Congratulations, Fast Eddie.
All right, so we're going to continue on with a presentation declaring May as Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. And we have with us today Mr. and Mrs. Wang, owners of Lucky House. If you will, come on up. First off, I'm honored to have you here. You're not only, contributing to our city, but you're also doing a lot of good work, especially with the tiny home village that you are planning. And I truly appreciate your efforts throughout, and we all appreciate it. So, the City of Riverbank Proclamation, Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. Whereas the month of May was chosen as Asia Pacific American Heritage Month to commemorate the immigration of the first Japanese citizen, Nagahama Mahi. I don't know how to pronounce that. And I speak Japanese. To the United States on May 7th, 1843, but also the anniversary of the May 10th, 1869 completion of the first transcontinental railroad built on the backbreaking labor of nearly 20,000 Chinese immigrants. And whereas Asia American Pacific Islanders have distinguished themselves as leading researchers in science, medicine, and technology innovation, and ranchers, distinguished lawyers, judges, and government leaders in the arts, literature, and sports, as war heroes and defenders of the country from fascism and peacetime healthcare heroes. And whereas today, more than 20 million Asian American Pacific Americans live in the United States, and through their actions make America a more vibrant, prosperous, and secure nation. Whereas the City of Riverbank is committed for being a welcoming and inclusive place where all residents and visitors are safe to live, work, and play. And whereas the contributions of the American Asian and Pacific Islanders is abbreviated. I mean, it's just an acronym. Community are immeasurable. The city acknowledges the impacts of the model minority myth that perpetuates the inequities of the community. The city continues to support AANHPI residents in all aspects of work, life, and community. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that the City Council of the City of Riverbank does hereby unanimously proclaim May 2024 to be Asian Pacific American Heritage Month and encourages everyone to commemorate this important occasion, signed today by me. So first off, I know, very good. Where, Hong Kong? I've been to Hong Kong many.
The next time I take you back there. Yeah.
Okay, yes. All right, if you can. Sure. And we're gonna have the entire city council. There it is. All right, next is a proclamation, Mental Health Awareness Month. And if I may have the members from Promisorio and El Concilio up here, please. Oh. You know, I should have worn my glasses. The City of Riverbank Proclamation, Mental Health Awareness Month, May 2024. Whereas Promisorius has been serving the Riverbank community and its surrounding area for over 20 years. And whereas the green ribbon is the international symbol of mental health awareness. And whereas our mission is to improve the emotional, psychological, and social well-being of families and their communities by providing increased access to resources and services that support mental health, prevention, and early intervention, as well as health education classes, parent support groups, and school resource readiness programs in English and Spanish. Whereas our vision is to sustain an ongoing advocacy for bringing critical services to underserved population in our communities throughout locally accessible activities, bilingual staff, and a trusted, safe place for individuals and families to ask for and receive information and support that is culturally appropriate. Whereas the lack of mental health awareness leads to devastating impacts on the well-being of individuals. Therefore, the main focus of this effort is to promote the importance of good mental health, well-being, and stigma reduction within the community, individuals, and families. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that the City of Riverbank hereby proclaims May 2024 as Mental Health Awareness Month and ensures that the members and ensures that the City of Riverbank continues to commitment to partner with our community members to ensure that all mental health services are accessible, valuable, and culturally appropriate to all residents, signed to the state. And who's going to receive this? There you go. Now you get to speak. And I would. You're ready? All right. He even has script.
A few things. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for having El Concilio here tonight in behalf of your council meeting. We are very thankful to be here. My name is Leonard Lippert. I am the director of the Behavioral Health Department for El Concilio. And I just want to make mention of what the promotoras really do. The promotoras are very involved in their communities in Oakdale and Riverbank. They are involved in the schools where they talk with students in regards to linkage to mental health and some stigmas that surround those areas. As you can see through the city, the green ribbons that are tied representing Mental Health Month for the month of May. Many of the promotoras and also our promotoras from El Concilio have been out tying those ribbons in the sense of being mindful of mental health. The ladies also are in the different churches where they hold groups for women and also for children. They are also involved with the food bank and handing out food with the different areas with people that are needing the services. So the promotoras are very, very involved in the community and linking different agencies and resources to the ones that are needing mental health services. I think the one area that we're really seeing a lot of residual stigma is with our youth because of what has happened with COVID. And working along with these promotoras and many other promotoras, we are seeing the great need there and for the support of the families. And these ladies are working with those different families and their children. So that's a little bit about the promotoras and Mental Health Month. So let's give these ladies a hand and all the promotoras.
Look at those beautiful flowers.
All right, next one up is a Proclamation-National Public Works Week. And this, I'd like to see Cody come on up here. Yes, and let's bring the crew members up. I finally found my glasses, so I should be able to read this one. First off, Public Works has the most important jobs, and I know administration is very important, but the city wouldn't run if we didn't have the Public Works Department, truly. And it's from streets and roads to water, sewer. It's extremely important that these individuals continue doing the works that they have done and keep doing it in the manner that they have. So the City of Riverbank Proclamation National Public Works Week. Whereas public works professionals focus on infrastructure, facilities, and services that are of vital importance to sustainable and resilient communities and to the public health, high quality of life, and well-being of the people of Riverbank. And whereas these infrastructure facilities and services could not be provided without the dedicated efforts of public works professionals who are managers and employees at all levels of government, who are responsible for rebuilding, improving, and protecting our nation's transportation, water supply, water and wastewater treatment facilities, and other structures and facilities essential for our citizens. And whereas in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children of Riverbank to gain knowledge of and to maintain a progressive interest and understanding of the importance of public works and public works programs in their respective communities. Whereas the year 2024 marks the 64th Annual National Public Works Week, sponsored by the American Public Works Association. Now, therefore, let it be resolved that the City Council of the City of Riverbank does hereby designate the week of 19th of 25 May 2024 as National Public Works Week. I urge all citizens to join with the representative of government agencies in activities, events, and ceremonies designated to pay tribute to our public works professionals, managers, and employees, and to recognize the substantial contributions they make in protecting our health, safety, and quality life. Signed today, and I want to thank you.
Thank you, sir.
No, you get to speak.
Oh, I get to speak. Thank
You
you.
get to speak.
Thank you, Mayor.
And you can hold this.
Members of the council, admin, public, just want to thank you for all of the support that we receive from you each and every day. Couldn't do my job without the crew members this is only a small fraction of what we have, but we have actually one from each department. So it worked out pretty nicely. We wouldn't be able to all fit up here, but it's nice having the support of staff and council. And I just greatly appreciate everything that you guys do for us.
Thank you. All right, if we want to. We're gonna go stand behind. No, no, you can stand behind. We're gonna stand behind. So this is the. Pardon? We can make, yeah, we can make it. Or we'll move forward.
There's so many of them.
I've seen the work you do.
And on behalf of all of the city staff, we certainly appreciate all of the work that Public Works does, and all of the help to each one of the departments. Sometimes we need something as simple as putting something together, and they're willing to jump in to assist. So we always appreciate their efforts.
Should have had water up here. All right, the next one is a proclamation for National Bike Month of May of 2024. Whereas for more than a century, the bicycle has been an important part of the lives of most Americans, and whereas the month of May has been designated as National Bike Month by the national, state, and local governments in order to promote greater public awareness of bicycle operations and safety education in an effort to reduce accidents, injuries, and fatalities. And whereas today, millions of Americans engage in bicycling as an environmental sound form of transportation and excellent form of fitness and provides quality family recreation. And whereas the city of Riverbank encourages and the increased use of bicycles and benefiting all citizens by improving air quality, reducing traffic and noise, decreasing the use of and dependence upon the finite energy sources, and fostering exercising. And whereas the education of cyclists and motorists as to the proper and safe operation of bicycles is important to ensure the safety and comfort for all. Now, therefore, let it be resolved, the City Council of the City of Riverbank does hereby recognize the month of May 2024 as National Bike Month and the week of May 13th through the 19th as Bike to Work Week, and urges all road users to share the road safely with bicycles. Signed today. And thank you. All right, we're going to move on to a presentation, Cheese and Wine Festival 2024 update.
Michael Patton, Director of Parks and Recreation, will
Let's
provide this
pause
report.
for a moment and let those who want to depart. You're welcome to stay, but it's not mandatory. No, no, you do not have to stay. All right, thank you. Medicilla.
Michael, take it away.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Since we are, was it now, a little less than 5 months away from the Cheese and Wine Festival, we thought it'd be a good opportunity to let you guys in on what we've been up to and planning, and kind of answer any questions you may have, and kind of, again, get you guys in the loop so that way when residents ask you what's going on with Cheese and Wine, you have an idea what's going on, and helps advocate and spread the word of what we have going here. So before I get too far into it, I'd like to make note that staff has been working hard to get things planned and figure out to make this the best Cheese and Wine Festival we've ever seen. We've worked hard with many organizations already, many businesses, individuals, answering questions, and vendors, and just a lot of work the staff's been working in putting into this. So we'd love to give a shout out to them. This presentation is currently what we have planned. We have a lot of things locked down. Some things are still up in the air. So what you may see here today may be different 5 months from now. So I want to kind of put that little asterisk right there. So to provide a little background, on January 23rd, 2024, the City Council provided guidance to the Parks and Rec staff to oversee the management of the Cheese and Wine Festival this year. The guidance included being a one-day event, family-friendly focused, support the local businesses, and be fiscally responsible. And so with those kind of goals in mind, we as staff have been working on ways to accommodate those goals. City Council has already approved new fees for vendors, sponsorships, and programs and merchandise over the past few weeks or months, I should say. What we have here is kind of hard to see, but we do have a map of the layout. So what we hope to do is have the event begin from 2nd Street and go all the way out east to 7th Street. Between these spaces, we're going to have lots of vendors, activities, entertainment. As of right now, between 2nd and 3rd Street, we're going to put our car show. Right here on 3rd Street on the northern side and the southern side, we will have a lot of food vendors, food trucks. Also here in the intersection, we will have a main stage for entertainment. Between 3rd and 4th, we are going to try to support our downtown businesses. We will not put vendor spaces in front of them, and we're going to work together with our downtown businesses to help them promote their sales, but also be heavily involved in the event. I have talked to some of the businesses already to have them incorporate the cheese and wine theme into their business that day. We've already collaborated with some on some ideas on how we can make this event successful. Going from 4th all the way down to 7th, we'll have our other vendors. 5th Street will have another stage. At the community center, we will have our 3 wine tastings. We will also include an outdoor section, including the gazebo. Right now, staff is planning on having a craft beer section right there for those husbands that get dragged by their wives to wine tasting and sneak out the back and get some craft beer. And then also towards that end, towards the community center park, we're going to have a smaller carnival. The idea is that the further you go out east, it's more family friendly. The more you stay to the west, that's where you get your delicious wine and alcohol. During the day, so the event will start at 10 a.m. We'll go to about 6 p.m. And then from 7 p.m. on, we're going to transform downtown into an exclusive 21 plus area with a sip and stroll, a beer garden here in the plaza, live acoustic music, again, working with the downtown businesses to be involved in that. We also have some other ideas to kind of spice that up a little bit, some program activities for our 21 plus adults that are involved, and also throughout the day too for all those involved. We have talked with the Sheriff's Department to address any safety concerns. They've given their blessing, as well as the Fire Department on this, and they have, as this stands, their blessing on this event. One of the things you notice, which was a topic of conversation when we talked about the previous year's event, was the rentals and uses of fencing. When talking with the police department or sheriff's department, we are going to minimize the amount of fencing we have to kind of make it more inviting and inclusive. But yeah, we're still gonna make it a safe event. We will have the sheriff's department on site. We've also contracted with Ontel Security to have security on site to make sure that, again, this event is family friendly and safe for those who attend. As far as budget, these are projections. With our projections, we're projected to make $66,373 in revenue. And our expenses are right now projected to be at $63,600. Our revenues are projected to be very conservative, knowing that in the past years there has been a deficit. A lot of our expenditures have been set in place with contracts that we already have. So our expenditures are kind of getting more keyed in. Our revenues, we're starting to ramp those up. We've mailed out over 200 letters of sponsorship this year or this past weekend to all the local businesses in Oakdale and businesses in Modesto to be a part of the event. So that's kind of where we're seeing our budget there. As you also notice that we have a little asterisk in revenue, with program revenue being at $0. We're still trying to figure out different programs that we can do to generate revenue. For example, we've talked about maybe a art and wine expose kind of thing where people can get their wine, buy a ticket, and do some art with an instructor. We've also had some silly ideas of bingo and wine earlier in the day. And so just different things that can generate some small revenue there. So we don't want to commit to projected revenues when we don't have an idea or fully set commitment right there.
Even maybe like a loteria type style too would be
Yep.
pretty cool.
So there's
to see.
things that look like that, definitely.
Mayor would like to do a dunk taking at these things.
We haven't signed for a 3-hour shift. For marketing, we have contracts with Cumulus Radio to create radio ads and oversee the social media marketing. Those will begin 2 weeks prior to, or the radio ads will begin 2 weeks prior to the event. Social media will start here any week now. We'll kind of oversee them on the overseeing or on doing the social media, where that is kind of our expertise, but they have a bigger outreach with over 50,000 people, followers on all their Facebook and Instagram page, where we're kind of limited on a small amount. We have access to the Cheese and Wine website. We're updating that. We are reusing the banners from last year. They don't have any dates on them. They look pretty good. And then we're creating new flyers that we'll start handing out to businesses and start posting that around town. So again, here's some proposed programs and activities that we've talked about. We're doing wine tasting, sip and stroll, car show, live entertainment. We're doing a kids corner in front of the teen center, where it's kind of more the educational component on wine and cheese. Sip and art, trivia, bingo. We're doing a carnival, cornhole tournament. One of the things that we were talking about recently is what I call passive recreation, where it's activities available to the public that don't require staff to be on site to monitor. Giving an opportunity for the public to meander through the event and see these opportunities and just participate that don't require the stresses of us monitoring and babysitting. And so we're looking to incorporate those ideas into the event. Yeah, right now, those are kind of some of the brief gist of what we have going on. I'd love to answer any questions that you as council may have. And yeah.
Could you expand just a little bit more about the activities for the kids? They always like to see the bounce houses and stuff like that. Is that kind of the game plan again?
Yeah, so towards the community center side of things, we're gonna have a carnival kind of a feel there. One thing we're being cognizant of is we are gonna have that outdoor feature to the wine tasting experience. So we're trying to be very conscious of not having a bounce house right next to where someone's drinking beer. It just kind of ruins the vibe there. However, we are doing some sort of carnival activities down on the side, mainly on the road, probably on the more northern side of the park with the playground there. So we are keeping that kind of stuff in mind there. As well, we do have, as mentioned, a kids corner in front of the teen center. We are recruiting our top time employees to kind of oversee this part, since they have the expertise in dealing with those little rascals. So they're going to begin working with the educational component, make sure the activities are appropriate for those ages 0 to 5, 6 to 12. So way that they're not just there just playing around, they're actually grasping the components of wine and cheese.
Right, because as you recall, the first time we met, you strolled through the last year's event, through the kids section, which was literally just a little bounce house area. My daughter hung out for like 20 minutes and then we were done.
Exactly.
So we definitely don't want that to happen again. So I
Exactly.
appreciate that.
Yep.
Are you doing Spanish language marketing?
Yes, we'll work on that. Currently we have one of our staff members that is finishing up the flyers. So we'll get that out there. Yeah, we'll keep that component in mind. Another thing too, we're doing is entertainment. We are doing we're just finalizing that contract there. So we don't have any selected entertainers yet, but we are going very diverse. I know in past years, they've had a wide variety of options and cultural opportunities. And so we plan to keep that in mind. We've already talked with staff about having Ballet Folklorico again do their performance and different opportunities there.
Sorry, Michael, got one more question.
Yes.
So we're looking at technically 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks. Are we still shooting for 60 vendors per block? And so that would total up about what, 240 vendors? Is that kind of the goal there?
Our goal is to fill as much as we can, Louis.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think right now we have about 60 vendors already filled up or paid, already submitted their applications. So we'll go as far as we can. And as we get closer, we'll look at our vendors that have paid and done everything they need to do and kind of look at the spacing there.
Okay.
So yeah, we'll go all the way to 7 so we can make sure that when we incorporate the wine tasting, the kids section over there, it's not feels separated from everything else.
So if you hit the threshold of the 240 to 300 number, where would you expand? Would you expand a different block? What would be the plan there?
If you kind of look at like what we have on 3rd where we start going north and south, we might start doing that on 4th and 5th.
Okay.
So again, I think over 3,000, I think 3,000 linear feet for vendor spaces, and we're doing 10 by 10s up to 10 by 30. So we do have a wide we have a lot to play with.
Okay.
Question I have is, the applications, are they available now online?
They've been available for about a month and a half, 2 months.
Okay.
Or
Okay.
sorry, 2 months is a little bit of a stretch, maybe about a month, month and a half. So yeah, they're available online, here in person in the office. We actually have Jeanette Montanez, who's our program program specialist. That is, she's been going to many events throughout the area, handing out applications to vendors, also visiting wineries and cheese factories, trying to get them involved. Staff is actually going to dedicate this Friday to visiting wineries. I mean, one-on-one. One thing we've noticed in talking to businesses and big wineries and the cheese manufacturers are, when we mentioned Riverbank cheese and wine, it's a sour taste in people's mouths. And so when we do the face-to-face interaction, it kind of eases the nerves there, and we've seen success that way. So we're this Friday going to send people our staff on a mission to.
I'll join that mission. No, but for what is a small business or the local business feedback you're hearing, and how can they get involved?
So far, the feedback we received is very positive. I think the changing in fees, I attended the Chamber of Commerce meeting today, and there was feedback already. Every meeting we go to, there's always feedback on, thank you for changing the fees. Where last year a 10x10 was $400, now it's $75. And then we've talked to a couple of the downtown businesses and shared the idea of our goal is to promote you guys or help you guys make money during this event. So it's kind of partner together, find ways to where you scratch my back, we scratch your back, and try and work with them on making a good event and how they can make money while there. So that's one of the main reasons why between second or third and fourth, we're not putting vendors there, because we don't want to have that just be distraction crowded right there. We want to give the downtown business an opportunity to highlight what they do and get foot traffic there. I would also like to make note that the majority of our vendors that have applied, paid, and done everything are Riverbank businesses.
All right, I don't see any questions. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Next item is the presentation of the Sierra House remodel.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So as you know, on April 9th, the City Council accepted the remodel project for the Sierra House itself. Back on November 6th of 2023, we actually did the ribbon cutting for the day use facility in the back. Because we want to make sure that we have representation from our elected officials, we are looking to schedule the ribbon cutting for the Sierra House sometime this summer. And so since a lot of residents may not have gotten an opportunity to see what the house actually looks like, we wanted to have a presentation to be able to show that off. So I want to start off by saying thank you to two key staff members who worked tirelessly to get this house in tip-top shape. They had a lot of fun picking colors, picking flooring, and they put a lot of love into this remodel. They honestly treated it like it was going to be their own home. And so you'll notice that some of the little touches that are there certainly reflect the fact that we wanted to make this a home for our unhoused residents. And so thank you to Laura Graybill, our project coordinator, who is watching us online at this moment, and to Norma Torres Manriquez for all of her work. And so this is where we started with our day use facility in the back. It was a little storage shed that the previous owners used. And now we have a beautiful building there that offers showers and services to our residents. They can get a fresh set of clean clothes, some water and some snacks while they're there. And now that the actual house is open, we're able to provide some hot meals for them as well. And so here's just a little bit of what that demo time looked like when we were going through making some modifications, looking at the layout before ultimately deciding to locate the day use facility there. This is when the modular was being brought in. So the modular does have 2 ADA restrooms, the laundry room, and an office for the Cambridge Academy staff that currently provides administration over the location. And we had some upgrades we needed to do as a public facility. We have to make sure that we are complying with all ADA regulations. And so we wanted to make sure that residents of all abilities were able to easily access the facilities. And so here's just a little bit more work. I do want to highlight that our Public Works Department provided some great assistance in being able to get that backyard where it needed to be so that it could be walkable and usable for the facility. And of course, we held a ribbon cutting back in November. So thank you to all of the city council and all of the elected officials that joined us that day, as well as the staff and a lot of organizations throughout Stanislaus County that provide services to our unhoused residents and that are extremely proud to be able to have facilities here in Riverbank. The east side of the county tends to be underrepresented for some services. So I'm really proud that we're able to do this within our city. And so this is our day use facility, which has been open and functioning for quite some time now. And so the next project that staff tackled was the actual remodel of the house itself. As you'll notice, we did not want to change the layout much. We wanted to make sure that the residents that lived in the neighborhood were comfortable with the fact that we were not going to make significant changes to the landscape of their neighborhood. So the one thing that you will know is that we did push forward and removed the actual entrance. We pushed that forward a little bit just to take advantage of some additional space. And so here was just a couple of pictures during the demo of the interior of the home. We did all of the demolition before the design work could begin so that the contractors that were coming through to provide bids had an opportunity to see the bare bones of the home itself and be able to give us a realistic bid. These are just a couple of the architectural plans and structural plans that were developed in order to get the remodel completed. Of course, being an older home, we did have a couple of pest control issues we needed to address. So that was step number one that residents were exposed to, is that we did have to remediate some pest issues. Of course, this was during construction. While we felt like it took a long time to get to that point, it certainly was a labor of love, and the contractor worked as quickly as possible on this. These are a couple more photos during that construction period. A lot of the exterior work that needed to be completed. We removed all of the siding that was there and replaced that with stucco. And then here are some pictures on the left-hand side. You'll see where it was before, and the right-hand side are the completed versions of that. And then our entryway, as I mentioned, we got rid of that entryway that we had there to be able to add some additional square footage to the home and made sure to include an ADA ramp for accessibility. Our office space, so this is office space that is being used by the Cambridge Academy staff, where they can intake residents who are coming into the facility, be able to have a room to have one-on-one conversations with them, and be able to provide case management. We did some significant work to the stairs that I was frankly very afraid to walk up on when we first purchased the home. The contractors did a wonderful job of getting that all completed and fixed. And that does lead to the upstairs room that is for our house manager who is now living there. And this is a little bit of what the kitchen looks like, wanting to make sure to have, very clean countertops that were easily, that we could easily take care of. And would provide no issues, commercial grade refrigerator and a freezer as well, so that we can be sure to have enough space to have meals and food. And so they do cook in the kitchen. But thank you to Kaiser and a partnership originally established with our local homeless advocate, Thelma Louise. We were able to take over having meals provided from Kaiser. So every Monday, they go and pick up meals and they're able to provide those to our unhoused residents. And then a couple of the bedrooms. So we've got 2 bedrooms. Currently, each one of the bedrooms is occupied, and it can hold up to 6 individuals. So in total, we can have 12 unhoused residents there. And then, of course, we did some ADA improvements to the downstairs bathroom, which is used by the residents who are there now. And then the back area that used to be kind of a dining room area, we've transformed into a classroom area. So it's kind of classroom / dining room area. So during the day, the Restart program provides their classes there. The Volt program, who has also partnered with Cambridge Academies, will also be providing their services there for trainings. And then this is the upstairs bedroom. As I mentioned, this one is dedicated to the house manager, so that he has his own space to be able to live in. He does live there 24 hours a day, is on shift basically during the evening when our residents, have their free time. During the day, we have other Cambridge Academy staff that's there that's providing the classroom and the classes and the trainings. So they just come and go as needed. And so this is just another shot of the exterior of the home. And like I mentioned, wanting to make sure that we continued with the integrity and original layout of the home itself so that the neighbors wouldn't notice too much of a difference. And this is what our Sierra house looks like now. So ribbon cutting is being scheduled, which we of course will invite not just the city council, but all of our city residents and all of our nonprofits that have participated in being able to bring this home to fruition. I can say that, we have initially looked at having about 8 residents to begin with to join the Restart program. We're going to have to pivot a little on that initial discussion simply because we haven't been able to get the commitment from the residents that we'd like to. So we'll have further conversations on that, and that will come to the city council at a future date. And so that is the Sierra house and the remodel. Wanted to be able to show that off, not just to council, but to all of the residents and folks here that are joining us today. And I'm available in case there are any comments or questions.
Any comments, questions?
I don't have a question, just a comment. I'm very pleased in the remodel. I'm very pleased that it's open. I'm very pleased that Cambridge Academy is there to offer their services. And I know that it is kind of difficult to get to have someone to commit to, a big change in their life. But I just hope that we get more of our unhoused residents to take advantage of the services and all the good stuff that can happen.
Yeah, no questions. I'll kind of add on to Darlene's comment there. I know that the change, it's kind of scary. You got to kind of follow the rules and everything like that, but it is life changing. This is one project that everybody in the city of Riverbank can be proud of. I know I am. I'm glad we have it here in town. Kudos to the city council for having that vision to provide an actual home for our homeless who actually need it. Kudos to staff for all the work. I think you mentioned that the reason we kept the door yellow which was a kind of a tribute to the color of the original house. So I thought that was kind of cool there. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this ribbon cutting. Kudos to Senator Eggman to giving us $2 million in the California state budget, a line item specifically for Riverbank for projects like this. And kudos to the county for helping us out with this. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the first graduates coming out of this program. So really proud.
Any others? Anyone from the public wishing to speak on this? You have to speak at the podium, please.
So how long is our people in the program? And the program involved mental health services, alcohol and drug services, and I imagine some kind of commitment to sobriety. So I'm also curious about the various funding streams. It just seems that I'm just so grateful that something like this has come to our community. Thank you.
Could you state your name for the
Sorry.
record?
Karen Mitchell.
So the program will last approximately a year before we see any graduates come of that. And yes, there's a case manager on site that works with our unhoused residents that specifically tailors to their needs. If they need mental health services, any medical services, and we have access to a vehicle that we've purchased as part of the program so that they're able to travel back and forth. Substance abuse services if they need assistance with that. But yes, one of the commitments that they are making as part of the program is to live a sober life. And so that's the goal that they can work towards. As to funding sources, with the remodel, it was thanks to a grant that we received from Stanislaus County, in addition to some funding that came from Senator Eggman. Future funding will definitely have to come from the city of Riverbank. Recently, the state of California revised their budget to remove funding that was available for homeless programs such as these. And so it's very unfortunate to see those decisions being made. But the city council is committed to this program. And so we will definitely find a way.
I'm going to add on to that because we have a strong partnership with nonprofits and civic groups that have made commitments to support our program. And I know it won't be financially, but a lot of it can be substituted and get some financial out of it. So it's going to be, with no funding coming in, when you said the funding, I went to the governor's revise and there's nothing there. So it's going to have to come directly from the city of Riverbank. And we'll be looking for creative ways, which we have done in the past. This took 8 years to get here, and we're committed for this to go at least 8 years. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you, Madison. At this time, public comments. Members of the public may speak on any subject not appearing on the agenda and within the subject matter jurisdiction of the City Council LRA Board. Individuals' comments will be limited to a maximum of 3 minutes, and time cannot be yielded to another person. Under state law, matters presented in public comment cannot be discussed or acted upon. Do we have public comments?
Olivia?
Hi, Mayor, council members, Olivia Rambula here, owner of Timeless Real Estate here in Riverbank and member of your Riverbank Chamber of Commerce. I'm here on behalf of Chamber of Commerce tonight. We want to invite you to an event that we're having on June 13th from 5 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. It is a Riverbank Business Expo. And behind that, we're trying to have all the businesses here come and showcase their business. So all business owners and family members of people who own a business that don't want to coming out. We're just trying to showcase that, put a little bit more love into Riverbank and try to just encourage our economic growth with our own businesses here in town. So coming out.
No, June 13th, Juneteenth. When is that going to happen?
Juneteenth is on June 19th.
19th,
Yes.
but wasn't it originally 13th? 19th? Okay, sorry, my history's wrong.
So you're going to be there then, right?
Yes, I will. Yeah, okay. Next.
We have 2 on Zoom, Mayor.
Right.
Ms. Eggers, if you can please unmute.
Yes, can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Thank you. Jamie Eggers, resident of the unincorporated area of Stanislaus County outside of the city of Riverbank, but within the proposed project area of the Riverwalk project. I'd like to address the council this evening on the proposed close of public comment this coming Thursday, May 16th at 5 p.m. Given that the traffic study, which is well over 100 pages, was only recently posted to the city's website, I'd like to request that you add additional time for the public to comment. It's a lot of information to digest, and it also seems like the traffic study should have come out either before the EIR or at least the same time as the EIR, because it impacts the information in the EIR. But at the very least, I'm asking that you allow additional time. Thank you.
We have one more on mute.
Hello?
Hi, Ms. Walton?
Yes, hi.
Hi,
My
go
name,
ahead.
hi. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Betsy Walton, and I was raised in Modesto on Hogue Road, which is outside of Riverbank, but within the proposed Riverwalk project. And I too am commenting on the same thing that Jamie just spoke about. I would like to encourage the council to extend the deadline for the EIR due to the traffic study, which has just recently come out and was not included with the EIR. And I think we got 10 days, which is just not enough time. I thought that would have been included with the EIR in order to inform that. Secondly, I don't recall seeing a Spanish version for the traffic report, nor did I see a Spanish version for volume 2 for the EIR. There was a request for that, which was given to us for volume 1, but I have not seen it for the two things I just mentioned. Thank you very much.
And then Mr. Kent Mitchell?
Hello, everybody. I'm here to talk about the Riverwalk development, and my wife is going to be talking about the floodplain issue, which I think is a real major issue for Riverwalk, and not to mention the fact that it'll be very difficult, I believe, for any Riverwalk residents to obtain flood insurance. That's a side issue, but she'll go into more detail about that. I don't think it's the type of housing development that's really needed for our area, especially right on the heels of Crossroads West. But even if they put on a good presentation. I was here the night they did that. But even if you like that development, I just don't think it's the right location for it. I think that's the problem. Besides the floodplain, you've got the impact to the river, to animals of the area. The traffic is going to be horrendous. That's a big problem. And then I know people who live near the area, and the construction and the quality of their life, they're really going to be hurt by it. And I feel for them. Thank you for your time.
Ms. Karen Mitchell?
Yes, I'm going to address the floodplain issue. So my research has shown me that there's general agreement now amongst climate scientists that though they cannot predict the annual rainfall in any one area, they can say that there's going to be more intense precipitation everywhere. And I was looking at records from Modesto Irrigation District, which has been recording annual rainfall since I think 1888. And three of the highest six daily rainfall has been in the last 10 years. So, but anyway, So these intense precipitation events are obviously then where a lot of flooding can come. And we're already seeing a rise in flooding in California. I guess around the Oroville Dam and downward of that, they had to recently evacuate over 100,000 people. So, so the other issue with this intense precipitation is that this will really affect the earthen levees. So they will be needing they're going to be subject to a lot of erosion and repair and possibly even breakdown. So it does not make sense at this time when we're facing, all the climate scientists say we're going to be facing more intense precipitation events, that we would actually start building on floodplain near an earthen levee. It does not make any sense. And then in terms of just the way the development sits, if there is an emergency, there's only two major exits from this 2,400 to 3,000 home development. And I can just see disaster in the future, a possible disaster. And I would not like to see anybody put at such risk. Thank you.
Mayor, that is all.
All right, close public hearing.
Oh, Karen, sorry. No, I forgot. Sorry, Karen Conrado.
Hello, my name is Karen Conrado. I live on Hogue Road. Good evening, Mr. O'Brien, Mayor and City Council members. I'm glad to be here tonight. Thank you very much for this opportunity to speak. I agree with the previous speakers that we would like to request an extension for the timeline to respond to the draft EIR for the traffic study and Spanish translation, of course, which you guys are really careful about doing. We agree with I want to bring up the traffic issue. We've had horrendous accidents. I'm sure you've read about them. The recent head-on accident, a month ago. But there's daily speeding, passing in the center lane, those kinds of things. And the traffic report, you do have improved roads, but there's no timeline for that. And what I've seen with developments over and over again is that they promise whatever it is, a park for the kids or good traffic roads, and it's decades before that occurs. So those are some of the concerns. Also, the floodplain issue continues. Over the years in 97 with that flood, there was a lot of seepage. So there's not always a chance for flooding by going over the berm, the levee, or the erosion if they're not maintained well enough. And there's also the seepage. And there was enough seepage in 97 that they had pumps to pump the water off the land and back into the river. These levees that exist right now are they're about 70 years old, and I don't know that they've been maintained at all. They were made to protect the ag land, not to protect residents. So that's a different issue, of course, for the need to have a strong levee. Gosh, my most important point tonight. Sorry, I didn't write it down. The other issue that I want to bring up is that the draft EIR has a lot of missing information and vague information. You'll be receiving and have received that information, either correcting or expounding on the information that's in the report. And I hope that you read that carefully, research it, listen to it, evaluate it. This is the wrong project or the wrong place for this project. And you do have land available that you can place this in a different spot. More difficult, you might have to change the plans a little bit, but to destroy this prime ag land, once it's paved over forever. And this is land that the farmers themselves and the people that work the land know how valuable it is. how unique it is for the world, again, for the food quality. So a
Thank
few
you.
hours out of, drive away from the valley and you have poor quality, poor appearance, poor taste, poor everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Karen. That is all, Mayor.
All right, I again close public comment. Move on to the consent calendar consisting of item 9.1, waive reading. Item 9.2, approval of the City Council Local Redevelopment Authority Board Minutes for April 23rd, 2024. 9.3, authorization for out-of-state travel for Councilmember Rachel Hernandez to attend the 2024 Asian Pacific American Leadership Foundation National Summit in Las Vegas, June 19th to 21, 2024. Item 9.4, resolution to award bid for the Crossroads Elementary School Raised Walk Crosswalk Project to RF General Engineering, Inc., and authorize execution of future change order. Item 9.5, resolution to waive the rental fees for the Chamber of Commerce to use the community center. Item 9.6, resolution to waive the rental fees for the Juneteenth event for the use of the community center park gazebo. And do I have any one wishing to pull any item or comment on them?
Let's, if I may, let's pull item 9.5 and 9.6. They kind of go hand in hand.
All right. Any others? So that would be recommendations for 9.1 through 9.4.
I'll make a motion to approve item 9.1 through 9.4.
I'll second. Roll call.
Councilmember Uribe?
Yes.
Councilmember Hernandez?
Yes.
Councilmember Barbara Martinez?
Yes.
Mayor O'Brien?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Hey, for item 9.5 and 9.6, your,
Yeah, just a quick comment, maybe a suggestion. So I know Michael is drafting the policy here. These are continuing to come forward. Absolutely support waiving the rental fees. If we can just maybe cover the hourly rate for the employees working that day, maybe just $100. The rental for the community center is $1,800, so we're waiving $1,700. So just asking maybe just a flat $100 as these come forward until Michael can finish up the policy for us.
okay, I have no problem with that. Discussion on it? Michael?
I have no problem with that either. But one thing that we do know in these ordinances, we do line up that the money that does come from the general fund to subsidize this as well. So we're more than happy to tell those that request this kind of sponsorship from the city that there's a little bit of skin in the game there. So we're more than happy to do that too.
A little buy-in from them, still waiving a big chunk of it.
Before I sit down, is that, are we looking to include that on this approval, or is this for future moving forward?
I would like it for 9.5 and 9.6 and for future until the policy comes forward.
Thank you.
And figure out what the true expense is. We're guessing.
Yep.
We're pretty good at guessing, but okay. So the resolution to waive the rental fees with the exception of $100 for both 9.5 and 9.6 for staff reimbursement.
And I'll make a motion for that.
I'll second.
Councilmember Uribe?
Yes.
Councilmember Hernandez?
Yes.
Councilmember Barbara Martinez?
Yes.
Mayor O'Brien?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Public hearing, resolution authorizing 9.4% inflationary adjustment increase to the City of Riverbank system development fees based on construction cost index to be effective 15 May 2024.
And your Assistant City Manager, Tammy Alcantor, will provide the staff report on this item.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So tonight, as stated, we are evaluating our system development fees for our annual inflationary adjustments. And this year's inflationary adjustment is at 9.4. So our system development fees are defined as a charge by a local government agency to help fund and pay for the construction or needed expansion of infrastructure and improvements as related to new development. The purpose of these fees are to defray all or a portion of the cost of public facilities related to development projects. So our last comprehensive fee update was in April of 2023 with the effective date of May 1st, and that increase was a 9.3%. Our resolution 2015-021 adopted the system development fees and authorized an inflationary adjustment based on the construction cost index by the city. It's published by the Engineering News Record. And based on DGS California Construction Cost Index produced by NER for 2023, the annual CCI for California is the 9.4. So these are the proposed fee levels for 2024 to be effective May 15th, which identifies for each of the individual or different residential types of uses, the clustered rural, lower density, medium density, high density, and mixed use for all categories: water, sewer, storm, parks, rec, general government and police, traffic, and then our admin fee. And then we have our commercial fees and industrial fees. Again, for community, commercial, mixed use, industrial, business park, and office, and in all the categories. And for reference, this is the increases per land use. So our community commercial went up $1.76 per square foot, mixed use to $1.79, industrial park $1.73, and office $1.45. In our residential, our clustered rural went up 4,300, lower density 32, medium density 24, higher density 2,100. And then our mixed use at approximately 1,900. So tonight it's recommended that the city council consider adopting a resolution authorizing the 9.4% inflationary increase to the 2024 system development fees. And I am available for any questions.
I have some questions. Can you go back to the totals? Go back there.
Commercials,
No, go back one more.
residential.
Right. Okay, so what you are not including there are school costs, fire costs,
Correct.
the county fees.
The county fees.
So this is just the city's fees.
Correct.
You're gonna expect all those other ones that, and we're here only for the city.
Yes.
But it would be nice to have total fees that we put in the housing when we start looking at possibility of putting some fees in the clouds as we talk to other agencies, because I want to know exactly what the county's charging. I do know what the school's charging. They're let's say for a 2,200 square foot, that's over $10,000. So that's their charge. The fire is over 2,000. So it's just, all of those are additive fees. So when we make decisions on, can we afford some moderate income or lower income housing? What are you gonna do and how are you gonna do it? But that's not for tonight. I fully understand that. I should have probably put that in my remarks, but I don't want to say anything tonight. That's in the future. Sorry.
Any other questions?
No questions, just clarification. And you don't have to give me the answer now. 2023, I may have heard wrong, but was it 13.1%? Your slides showed 9.3.
Yeah, 2022 was the 13.1
Got it.
and last year was the 9.3.
Thank you.
This is a public hearing. Anyone from the public wishing to speak? Anyone online wishing to speak?
Mayor, there is no one on Zoom wishing to speak.
All right, I close public hearing, bring it back for consideration.
I will make a motion to, sorry, go ahead.
I'll make a motion, we approve item 10.1.
And I'll second it.
We have a motion to approve and a second for item 10.1. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Uribe?
Yes.
Councilmember Hernandez?
Yes.
Councilmember Barbara Martinez?
Yes.
Mayor O'Brien?
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
And the new business, resolution to appoint Seabury Dillard, Sammy Martinez, Sarah Malo, Alex Rodriguez, and Karina Romo to the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee.
Michael Patton, our Director of Parks and Recreation, will provide the report on this item.
Hello again. Before I get far into this, I would like to thank those that are in attendance that stuck out the hour and a half that are related to this topic. They are here to support what we have going on here. So I'm here to talk about the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. Can I give again more background? On early February, the City Council authorized the Parks and Recreation Advisory Committee. Again, this committee is to give the public an opportunity to be involved with what we as Parks and Recreation do, give that community input, support our programs, events, advocate for what we are trying to get going in. Again, with our goal as a Parks and Recreation Department to be very community-based, resident-based, and I think this committee is would be useful to get that kind of input in place. On February 15th, the city began accepting applications. We released them online, social media, marketing out there. A little bit more background. The city received a total of 8 applications. The board consists of 5 seats, and so we had more applicants than we have available spots. With each applicant, I took the time to interview each one, met with them in person, and kind of ask some questions on why are they interested, what do they think that we do well as Parks and Recreation, and where can we make improvements? And based on their applications and our one-on-one discussions and reviewing our goals, our strategic plans, and where we want to see ourselves in the short and long term, I'm prepared to make a recommendation to City Council and to the mayor for your votes and appointments here. So of the 8 applicants, we have 5 that I'm recommending: Seabree Dillard, Alex Rodriguez, Sammy Martinez, Karina Remo, and Sarah. Sorry if I butcher your last name, but Sarah Malo. Perfect. Again, those are the recommendations that I'm providing to the council for your approval and appointments. Any questions?
I have no questions.
I'm gonna just be silly for a second. When I read Alex Rodriguez, I got excited. Thought we just recruited the professional baseball player from the Yankees.
I felt
I was like, wow, we got the best park and rec committee ever.
thought the same thing, Luis.
Yeah. No, I'm excited for everybody. Everybody has their strengths. Alex, you're in land development management, so I'm looking forward to hearing, working with you guys and everything. So congratulations to everybody.
If I may also, Louis, or council, for those that are here, can we have a stand up? So we go a face to a name. So Alex, Sarah, Seabree. These are 3 of the 5. I know the other 2, they have they're either on Zoom or they were not able to make it, but
Thank you all for your service for the city, because it's really important to have your input. What is next steps, or how are we gonna, as a council, gonna hear from the committee?
so what we're gonna do is probably tomorrow I'll start getting a hold of everyone, find a time to where we can schedule a time to sit down and start our first meeting. We'll kind of do an onboarding, go over kind of the bylaws, what we can and cannot do, and do those kinds of things. And then from there, we hope to meet monthly. A lot of our meetings will probably be updates on what we're going on with Parks and Recreation Department. But there are some things like what Councilmember Uribe talked about, where setting a policy for like rentals, those kinds of things. Those are things that we want to get public feedback on. And so those are things that we'll start getting their approvals, and when we bring them to City Council for your approval, we'll have the recommendation supporting what we have. And so you'll be hearing from them through me or chatting with them. Again, these meetings are open to the public, and so council members are also invited to attend and participate and be active in that as well.
I just want to say welcome. I'm looking forward to working with you, talking to you, and getting to know you more. And just, planning the good stuff that we like to have going on in Riverbank. So welcome and thank you for wanting to give back. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any public comment? This is a public meeting.
Mayor, there is no one on Zoom wishing to speak.
No one speaking here, so I bring it back for consideration.
I'll make a motion to approve item 11.1.
I'll second.
We have a motion to approve and a second on item 11.1. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Uribe?
Yes.
Councilmember Hernandez?
Yes.
Councilmember Barbara Martinez?
Yes.
Mayor O'Brien?
Yes,
Motion passes 4-0.
Staff comments, please. Thank you, Michael. Thank you all for volunteering.
Mayor and council, bear with me in continuing today's tradition for long-winded presentations. I have quite a few staff comments today. So I'm going to start off with a huge congratulations to the Central Valley Community Resources nonprofit here from the city of Riverbank, who is the honoree this year of having been selected as nonprofit of the year for the California Senate District 4 by Senator Marie Alvarado Gil. So congratulations to Councilmember Barbara Martinez and all of her CVCR staff and employees that provide such a wonderful service to all of our residents. I also want to take this opportunity to welcome Joshua to his first official city council meeting as Director of Community Development. So welcome, Josh. And then a thank you to all of the city staff that also participated and was involved in Love Riverbank, in particular to Jessica Barragan, who organized our annual health fair, and to the Parks and Rec staff who participated not just as part of Love Riverbank, but also as part of the Founders Day Carnival. So thank you to them. All city's offices will be closed on Monday, May 27th in honor of Memorial Day. Please join us that day at the Mayor's Memorial Day event at the Riverbank Community Center. Join us for Food Truck Fridays every Friday this month. The event is being held at our sports complex from 5 to 8 p.m. Currently, there is a request for proposals for food vendors at Jacob Myers Park available through our Parks and Recreation Department. We will be selecting a contractor for City Council to approve that will be allowed to sell food within the park itself. The Riverbank Historical Society is holding their after Mother's Day breakfast this Sunday from 9 to 1 at the community center. Tickets can be purchased at the museum on Saturday or here at City Hall or at the door. It's $20 for adults and $10 for children ages 6 to 12, and anyone under 5 is free. Finance staff has released a request for proposals that seeks investment advisory services. These services are aimed at aiding in investment strategies, conducting cash flow analysis, and establishing a 115 trust. The primary objective is to ensure the city achieves a reasonable rate of return on investments rather than maximizing income generation, which could expose the city to some unacceptable risk. Proposals must be submitted by June 6, 2024 to our Assistant City Manager. Updates have been made to the online application for utility services that now allows the submission of required documents for new accounts, which facilitates starting new accounts for our residents where they no longer have to come into the office to be able to start services or have to do that via email. They can do it all from our online portal. Utility shutoffs for non-payment originally scheduled for today have been postponed to Tuesday, May 21st due to a high volume of accounts and scheduling conflicts. And lastly, the finance staff is presently focused on enabling online acceptance of new business licenses, updates to existing business information, and renewals. These features are expected to roll out by June 1st. And that is all from staff.
Thank you. Councilmember Hernandez.
Just love Riverbank. The Founders Day Carnival was a lot of fun. So thank you to all the staff for putting that together. The Sister City Committee had a dunk tank out there, and I was surprised at how much people wanted to dunk all of us. We raised about a little over $500 to support a student, hopefully next year, to participate in some learning experiences with the Sister City program. I mean, there's so many events going on with the school district. RLA had their cultural event, and there's a lot of fundraisers going on. So I just wanted to say all of that to say there's always a way to participate and to support Riverbank.
Thank you, Councilmember Uribe.
Thank you, Mayor. Okay, so I just want to highlight one service that the Stanislaus County Library is offering. If you haven't been or not aware of the program, it's called Zip Books. So if you are trying to rent out a book or an audiobook at the library and they don't have it in the catalog, you can actually go to the website and request the book and it'll be delivered to your house for free. And they're using Amazon Prime. I've tried it already. It's pretty quick, and then you have it for 6 weeks, and then you just return it back to the library, and then it's entered into the catalog. So for the rest of the residents to use, it's pretty cool. It's all being funded through the California Library Services Act. I think it's just a great way to stock our library. I was there. I was looking for an accounting book, and the book that they had was 10 years old. So this was a cool way to get a book, of a little bit more recent. And then, residents can request books that they're interested in. So I think it's a pretty neat program. And finally, I've asked staff to put on the May 28th agenda item, a little recognition for the Love Riverbank Committee. Randy, John, Don, and Minor did an amazing job. And so please spread the word. Hope they can be here. I know John was here briefly. I know he had things to do though, but please spread the word. Love to see you guys at the next meeting, and please spread the word, show these guys some love, and they did a ton of work. And so I think they deserve a little bit of recognition for that. That's all I got.
Thank you. Councilmember Barbara Martinez.
I just want to say thank you to everyone that made cookies for Love Riverbank, for our first responders and all of our city departments. I got great feedback for everyone. This year was the first time I had so many volunteers that made cookies. So I just want to say thank you, thank you, thank you. And they were all delicious. I tried to taste each and every one of them. I attended one of our Taco Truck Friday events, and I just want to mention that it was great selection of different types of food. Our families were out enjoying the Friday evening and also the weather. I just want to thank also Jeanette and our Parks and Rec department for coming up with creative new events for us to have fun and to enjoy ourselves in Riverbank. And I think that's all that I have today. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to mention the governor's May revise will affect a lot of the services that we just patted ourselves on the back on. The health, the homeless, the underserved is going to be very difficult. They're going back to business as usual, going back like 2017 with funding. It's going to be extremely difficult. We're committed, so we have to be creative. And I know we will be when we get a new budget in a couple of months. Okay, with that, the next meeting will be held on Tuesday, May 28th, 2024. This meeting is now adjourned.